guys, today I'm filming my Hit or Quit It thoughts on hauls number 66. If you guys have never seen one of these videos from me before, I'll have a playlist linked down below, and basically I'm going to be reviewing the products I featured in a haul video from 10 months back to let you know my current thoughts on those products. I will have a playlist linked down below. I will also link down below my original video, and I'm going to be listing all the items I'm talking about today. Then I've got some things from my friend Amanda. So the first one was the Too Faced Sweethearts Perfect Flush Blush in Peach Beach. And this is something that I've wanted for years. They used to always include these in the 21 Days of Beauty, and then they stopped. And they've discontinued most of these shades. I think now they have the peach one and then the like Bellini color, but they discontinued the two more pinky shades. This is a pretty blush. You've got something that's a little bit more like champagne, a pink stripe, and a peach stripe, and these all swirl together to be a really pretty nude blush. Let me try to get a good... It's right here, if you guys can see that. It's a really pretty color. I do think that this is a nice formula. This is something I did use a good bit in the fall, but I don't love it. If I had to pick between this blush and MAC Warm Soul, which are similar in color, I'd pick Warm Soul all day long. So this is something that I might put in my chopping block series for next year to really decide if I want to keep it or not. My blush drawer is overflowing, and I don't need any new blushes. I don't want to buy any new blushes, but I might end up doing so. I mean, there's nothing actually on my wish list right now, but I might buy some. And my blush drawer is just too big, so I'm trying to look at my blush just to see which ones I could actually see myself letting go of. And this is a maybe. I do think it's a good formula, but I'm just not like, ooh, I have to have this, because it is a fall blush for me. And there are several other shades I would reach for over this one, but it's not a bad product, so I just need to get some more use out of that to make up my mind. And then she had given me a really hefty jar of the Pretty Vulgar Powder Room Translucent Loose Powder. I did put this in a project pan. This was a really nice mattifying loose powder. However, I could not apply it with a damp sponge, which is how I apply my loose powder. It would clump up very badly in the sponge and on my face. It would just look a hot mess. So I had to apply it with a brush. I thought that was going to make it go faster, but it actually made it go slower, and it could have had something to do with the brush that I was using. I'm using like a really great flat top, more dense Japanese brush right now, which I'm really enjoying. But was I using that one or my Jeffree Star powder brush? Maybe both. I think maybe the Jeffree Star powder brush, which is like his foundation brush that was really dense. The one with Morphe. I don't remember what brush I was using, but anyway, I liked it. I do think it looked nice in the skin. I think it helped keep me matte, but because it wasn't easy to apply with a sponge, which is my preferred method, it's not something that I would repurchase. However, if you're not picky like that, maybe you'll have a different experience than I will. Maybe I could have tried it with a dry sponge, but if you don't mind using a brush with your loose powder, I do think it's a really nice mattifying loose powder. And the good thing is that like with the Peach Perfect from Too Faced, I love that powder, but it oxidizes on me. This one did not do that. So it's a good powder. It just, again, does not meet my personal criteria for a loose powder. Then the next thing I had gotten from Amanda was one of the Dose of Colors Ideal Duos in Magic Momint, which is so beautiful. So I've always wanted to try these duos, and I was so glad I got to get this one from Amanda, and I didn't just purchase one on my own, because I don't know how much use I would get out of this type of product. The color is amazing. You guys know I love a rose gold. So basically you have a cream shadow on the top, which is so gorgeous. And let me swatch it for you. So this is very sticky, which it needs to be. Like, it's creamy but sticky. It has a decent amount of pigment though, but it needs to be that way because on the bottom is a loose pigment in a matching shade. So let me show you guys that, and ooh, swatch it. So bam, that is so intense when layered on top of each other, which is beautiful. This is a wow, this is more dimensional than I remember. Like, it's a rose gold, but it's got some like copper reflex in it. It's very pretty, and as long as you set that cream, it's not going to crease. And I think it's good that it's a sticky formula because you don't also need a glitter glue. It holds it in place really well. Now you are going to get some glitter fallout. This is a good formula. I'm really happy I have this product. I need to use it more. It's definitely neglected in my collection, but it's a good formula. I love this color, but this type of product in general is not something I'm over the mood about or feel a need to have multiple colors in, but it's good. Next, I had some products from my friend Jean, and the first thing she had given me was the Maybelline SuperStay Better Skin Powder in the Ivory shade, and that is the UK version of this powder, which is my favorite, and their shade selection is different. So the US powder in the shade Porcelain is my all-time favorite powder, and basically this powder is the old version of this one. I prefer this powder. I have tried this as a powder foundation as well as a setting powder. It looks beautiful either way. It gives great coverage, but it looks very natural on the skin, and the color is perfect for me, so I love this powder. So in the UK version she sent me, it's a totally different product. So the color is different. It's a lot darker. It's a lot more orange, and the powder itself is so dry. It is like it's hard to get any pigment or to pick it up on a brush. Part of me wonders if it's a knockoff. I mean, I don't know why someone would make knockoff Maybelline makeup because it's affordable drugstore makeup, but the formula is so incredibly different and it's not good at all, really. So that makes me feel like it is a knockoff, which is a shame. I'm so sad that Jean spent her money on that for me, because this original powder is everything to me, but the UK version was absolutely not good. Then I had gotten a little sample size of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Luminous Flush, and this was a little sample she'd gotten from So Schwa back when that business was still around. I put that in a sample project pan. Wow, did I love that color. It was a beautiful warm pink, and I feel like when I've swatched the color in person it looks a little bit different, but of course when you get an ambient blush they all have a different amount of like blush and powder mixed in. They all look different, so it could have been whatever one I was swatching, but it looked beautiful on the skin. It was a beautiful color. I considered getting the Hourglass blush quad from holiday of this year, and I don't know that I can do it. I mean, I can't do it. I can't. The colors are very pretty, but it's just too expensive for me. I cannot spend that much money on a blush. I just can't. The formula is nice. They look beautiful on the skin. Right now I'm thinking about that quad. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it. The blush is beautiful. If I was gifted one, girl, I would treasure it with my whole heart, but I just can't. It costs too much for a blush that's good, but like it doesn't blow other blushes out of the water. Then she'd given me the Coty Airspun loose powder, the full coverage one. I used it once and I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I cannot see worth crap. My hearing, not the best, but I can smell like no other. This sniffer ain't missing nothing. And the smell of that powder was so overpowering, old-fashioned gal, that I couldn't do it. It was way too stank for me. I couldn't do it. So I ended up getting rid of that powder. I mean, I wanted to try it. I wanted to so bad because I know Tati loves it, a lot of other people love it, and they mentioned the scent, but I could not get past it. I couldn't. It was way too strong, way too much. So no, unfortunately, I would not recommend the Coty powder, and I don't even know what the formula was like, to tell you the truth. I just couldn't with the scent. Then she had given me some minis of the Clinique Dramatically Different Hydrating Jelly. I do not like this at all. Either this is their moisturizer for combination skin. The jelly consistency is gross. It feels like jelly, it really does, and that is disgusting to me. Just like, it hydrated well. Once it was on your skin, it didn't feel gross, but the texture of the product and applying it to my face was so gross, I couldn't do it. So I love the moisturizing gel from this range. I think that's great for oily skin. The moisturizing lotion is great for dry skin. I don't like the lotion like at all. even for the winter, even for nighttime, no ma'am. I don't like it at all. I would get rid of that one, but I like the jelly even less, just for texture purposes. Then she had given me a little mini of the Dermablend Translucent Loose Setting Powder, which is my holy grail powder. I need to look back through my yearly favorites of 2018 and see if I mentioned it. If I didn't, it's going to my 2019 yearly favorites because it's so good. I've used up 2 full sizes this year and I cannot wait till the spring 21 Days of Beauty from Ulta because I'm hoping it's included like it has been for the past couple years, and I don't want it to be the banana shade. I want it to be the translucent shade, and I will buy 2 of them. The powder lasts me for a very long time. It is so good for setting the entire face, but I love it for setting my under eyes because it's very smoothing under my eyes. I can apply it easily with a damp sponge, and it's very brightening. So depending on my concealer shade, it can look a little too bright, but I do like it because my other favorite has been the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Powder. That one darkens my concealer and it looks a little dry under my eyes and can emphasize the lines. I don't think the Dermablend does. This is such an underrated powder for me, and it's an amazing value. An amazing value. Then she had given me the Hard Candy Glamoflague foundation in Porcelain, and she had gifted me a backup bottle because this foundation has been reformulated, I believe. Maybe the formula hasn't changed, but the packaging has changed and they added a lot more shades. So I'm not sure what my color would be. So this originally had a pump. Now it has the doe foot applicator because that's very popular with foundations for some reason. This is my holy grail foundation mixer. I think this has a great medium to full coverage. It has more of a satin finish, and the shade Porcelain is very fair and like yellow neutral tone, which is great for me. I do need to start using this. This current bottle is going to be in my project pan for 2020, and I want to work through my other backups as well because this foundation is about a year old, so I do need to use it up. It's a product I do really enjoy and I would recommend it, and I do eventually want to try their new reformulated version, and hopefully there's a good shade for me to use as like an all over foundation because the formula is great and it's good for a mixer. The next thing I had gotten was a mini of the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. So I'm trying to remember, is this more of a dry or a wet formula? I think it was somewhere in between. And it has like an hourglass shaped brush, like the Marc Jacobs, L'Oreal Lash Paradise, Too Faced Better Than Sex. Y'all know the brush I'm talking about. And this was really nice. It did give some really good volume. It made my lashes look fluttery. I really do like this mascara. I would be happy to use it more minis. I would not purchase this in the full size because I do prefer the Lancome Hypnose Drama more. That's my favorite high-end mascara. I love Urban Decay Perversion, but Hypnose Drama is my favorite high-end mascara. I think that one does the most for my lashes. So this one I think is really good, but I wouldn't buy it. Now if it went half off, maybe, but I have so many mini mascaras that I want to use up, and I get rid of all my mascaras at 3 months, whether it's a full size or a mini, although I may be lying. Sometimes full sizes I'll wait till 4 months because there's always so much mascara left. I don't layer on mascaras. So even when I have little minis, I feel like I don't finish it by the 3 month mark. I can tell it's starting to dry out a little bit, but I don't feel like it's finished. It's just the end of that 3 months. So I'm not finishing a mini in 3 months. I'm definitely not finishing a full size, and product's going to waste. So I would rather just get minis when I can and use them than buy a full size, but it's a good mascara. Then I've got some eyeshadows from Kat Von D, and the first one was one of the Metal Crush eyeshadows in the shade Raw Power, which is a beautiful shimmery cranberry. And I have one other Metal Crush eyeshadow. I have Thunderstruck, which I use as a highlighter, and this one is Raw Power. I can't remember the name of it, but there's like a metallic orange copper from this range that I've contemplated getting because I think it's so beautiful, but I know it's not unique enough to my collection. This formula is very good. It is very pigmented. It's very metallic. Like, bam. This is a very good formula. And from time to time, these might still be on sale on the Sephora website, and you can sometimes find them at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Now, they were at TJ Maxx a long time ago, but every once in a while I'll see a few shades again. It's a really good formula. I do like the color a lot. I have other things similar in my collection, so it's not necessarily a must-have, but I do think it's a very good product. Then I have the Kat Von D eyeshadow in Lolita. I know they also made a Lolita blush. I'm not sure if those are the same product or they're two different products. Like maybe this is an eyeshadow that can also be used as a blush. I haven't tried it yet that way because I'm a little intimidated by it. So here is what a swatch of this color looks like, and let me swatch it on my hand here. So here is what that looks like. I have used this before in my outer corner. I do think it's nice and pigmented. It blends okay. So this eyeshadow is a little bit more of a dry formula, and I think, like, watch me blend it on my hand. I think it can look a little bruise-like, so it just depends. But really using this as an outer corner color and having it packed on a little bit more and more intense, I do think it's really nice. And next I have a blush that I'm wearing today, and this is the second time I wore this blush. I wore it yesterday as well. I actually wore this entire look yesterday, and I liked it so much I wanted to show it to you guys in a video. So the blush I'm using is one of the Lorac blushes. I cannot remember the name of these for the life of me, but this is the shade Aura, which looks like a really pretty, like, dusty, more mauve pink, but it looks dusty in that finger swatch, but when you put it on your hand, it looks a lot more deep and intense than it does in the pan, which is interesting, and it goes a little bit more of like a mauve berry color. This is so pigmented, so intense, so you do need to be careful when you apply it. I used a real fluffy brush and I used a little amount of product, and it still looked very intense, so I had to go over with a bit of powder. This is a really nice formula. It is a matte blush, but I don't think it looks too dry on the cheeks. It does blend nicely. It's a really nice formula, and this is a very pretty color that I was considering, like, oh, this might be in my chopping block, and it might still, just so I get more use out of it, but I love this blush and I cannot wait to use it more. And this is going to be a good winter staple, because at first I wasn't sure what season I would like it best in, because it looks like a dusty pink, like something I might wear in the spring. But this is definitely a good winter blush for me, and I definitely do recommend it. I've said the word definitely so many times, I greatly apologize. But Lorac is sold at Kohl's, and a couple times a year Kohl's will have different like beauty deals, and usually Lorac will go half off. So that would be a great time to pick up that blush, because it's a very beautiful shade and the formula is so nice. And the last thing I have from Jean might be my favorite. This is the Benefit Cheek Parade palette, and y'all know Benefit does a cheek palette like every freaking year. I do like Benefit. I wish they were cruelty-free, but the products I have from them I really love. I think that Benefit brow products are better than Anastasia brow products. I know that is blasphemous, but I do believe it's true. I think Benefit has awesome bronzers, blushes, and highlights. I'm so happy they released some highlights. But like, Benefit be a boring brand. They don't release new stuff often enough. Like, they just came out with a freaking hydrating Benefit Professional Primer. Like, you guys, please be more fun. Benefit hasn't done eyeshadows in a while. When they tried to come out with an eyeshadow palette last holiday, it was terrible. Nobody even wanted to try it. I don't even know if the quality was good or not. Nobody wanted to try it. It was a very, very pale, cool tone palette, which is not going to work for even a majority of skin tones. And it was such a sad attempt at eyeshadow that, like, no. Back in the day, Benefit used to have really cute singles and cream shadows, and people seemed to like them then, and they got rid of them. Benefit is a boring brand, but I think their products are good. So I was excited to have this palette, because this is my very first blush palette or cheek palette from Benefit. So of course in here you have one of those crappy little brushes nobody likes. I think that this does work well for contouring, but I would rather them have put another blush in this place, you know, but What you have in here is Hoola Light and Hoola Bronzer. Then you have Dandelion, California, and Rockateur, which are all blushes. And I was so excited for this palette because I have Hoola in a full size. I love it. It's a great bronzer. I had California in a full size, but now I think I want to try to sell that one because I've only used it a few times. But I've never before tried Hoola Light, Dandelion, or Rockateur. Hoola Light, when I swatched this one in store, I thought it was the ugliest color. I did not think it was going to look good on the skin. It was like a very yellow, tan bronzer, but like weird. It wasn't brown. It was like yellow. I thought it was so ugly. I'm not wearing it today, but I used it yesterday, the day before, and I really like it. I actually think it looks nice on my fair skin, and it did show up. And Original Hoola I think is great, and I'm very happy to see that Benefit finally released 2 more shades of Benefit Hoola bronzer, which I think is great. They've got caramel or caramel, and then I can't remember the other one, but now there's 4 shades, which is great. You've got like fair, light, medium, and deep bronzer, which is so great. I'm so happy that they did that, and it's still in their same cute packaging, their same Hoola theme, but now they're making products for a wider variety of skin tones, which I think is great. I'm very happy that they're doing that, and I love the formula of Benefit Hoola. I think it's nice and pigmented. It blends out nicely on the skin. It's a matte formula, but it doesn't look too dry. Love Benefit Hoola bronzer. These blushes, I actually have not used Dandelion yet, so I'll have to use it this spring. I love California, and Rockateur is a really pretty color as well that I need to get some more use out of. These 2 here are like a big gelée formula. I don't love that kind of formula for products in general, because I feel like you have to use certain brushes with it. It doesn't pick up on a brush and go on the skin the easiest. Once you do get it on, it doesn't look powdery, but I don't feel like it's the easiest to apply. I did not have trouble with these, which is good. I'm very happy to say that, because I've, like I said, have been put off by baked gelée products, but these are good. So I do enjoy this palette overall. I do think that the Benefit palettes are a good value and a good product. I just wish they would release more new shades. But I do have to say that sometimes the colors are not exactly the same. Like, I believe that this Dandelion might look a little different than the Dandelion in the individuals. I did buy a blush palette earlier this year from Benefit as well. That was when they first released like the Cookie and the Tickle highlighters, and they came out in the palettes. The Core Lisa blush in the palette is different than the one I have in a single, so I wish that the colors were exactly the same, but I do think that the quality is the same from what I've tried, and I recommend it. And that is it. Those are all the products that I tested, that I had hauled in this video. If you wanted to see all the other things that I had gotten, please check out the original video. I didn't even have that many products in front of me, and I somehow still rambled on for a very long time. So I appreciate you if you guys stuck through this whole video. I would love to know your thoughts on all these products down below, and I am very excited that I will be testing out the other things in my chopping block in 2020, so that I am getting good use out of them and seeing if I love them and want to keep them, or if I'd rather pass them on to someone else. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It truly helps me out so much. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.